Mr. Doherty, I'm going to start with you, sir. You wanted to rent a motorcycle for your son who was coming to visit.
Yes, ma'am.
And you had rented motorcycles for him to ride previously from the plaintiff.
Yes, ma'am, 3 times.
And how much do you pay for each use?
I think it was about $130.
A day?
A day, yes, ma'am.
This case started when the defendant rented a motorcycle from the plaintiff for his son who was coming to visit. He had rented motorcycles from her business 3 times before, so they already had a customer relationship. Each time, he paid about $130 per day to use the motorcycle. For this visit, he contacted the plaintiff again and planned to rent a motorcycle for a few days during the Thanksgiving holiday. This booking and the later cancellation of that reservation eventually became the reason the dispute came to court. What happened next?
And this last time that you reserved the motorcycle for your son's visit, how many days did you reserve it for?
For 3 days, ma'am.
For $390.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you personally call her?
Yes, ma'am.
And gave her the dates that you wanted to reserve the motorcycle?
In this part, the judge confirmed the details of the reservation. The defendant explained that he reserved the motorcycle for 3 days, which cost $390 in total. He personally called the plaintiff to make the booking and told her the exact dates he wanted to reserve the motorcycle for his son's visit. This shows that the reservation was clearly made through a direct phone call and both sides agreed on the rental details.
And then you found out that your son, for some reason, wasn't coming.
Right.
When did you call the plaintiff back and tell her that the plan had changed and you wanted to cancel?
That was September 17th, 2015.
And that's all documented. So far, is that all correct?
Yes, ma'am.
In this part, the defendant explains that later he found out his son was not coming anymore. Because of that, he decided to cancel the motorcycle reservation. He called the plaintiff the next day, on September 17, 2015, to inform her that his plans had changed and he wanted to cancel the booking. The judge confirmed that this information is documented and asked if everything said so far is correct. The defendant agreed and said yes.
So you ran his credit card for $390. He called you within 24 hours to tell you that his plan has changed. And you told him you had a no-refund policy, that you would send him vouchers for another time. He said, I want my money back. And to make a long story short, they ultimately sided with him and took the money back from you. That's why you're here.
Ultimately, it went back into my account when he dropped the dispute at the end.
So what are you doing here? Go ahead.
Well, I'm suing for the NSF charges that I incurred for the money going in and out, the taxes that I had to pay, and the inconvenience of it all.
In this part, Judge explains that the plaintiff charged the defendant's credit card $390 for the motorcycle reservation. However, the defendant called back within 24 hours to cancel the booking because his plans had changed. The plaintiff had a no-refund policy, but the defendant disputed the charge with his credit card company, and they first returned the money to him. Later, the plaintiff says the money came back into her account when the dispute was dropped. Even after that, she came to court asking for NSF charges, bank charges, taxes, and compensation for the inconvenience caused by the dispute process.
I think that you're a very bad businesswoman.
Ma'am,
I think
he called
that you
3
are,
days later.
I think that
he canceled 3 days later. My policy is no refunds.
Miss Noller. Miss
It's in my
Noller.
policy.
I'm talking, you're not. I just went over with him the dates. I said, is all of that correct?
No.
And you said, you want me to play back the tape? You said correct.
In this part, the judge criticized the plaintiff's business behavior, saying she is a very bad businesswoman. She emphasized that she was speaking and the plaintiff could not interrupt, showing that the plaintiff was trying to argue over the facts. The judge pointed out that she had already gone over the reservation dates with the defendant, who had confirmed them by saying, correct. This demonstrates that the defendant clearly communicated the booking details and that the plaintiff agreed at the time. The judge even offered to play back the recorded phone conversation to confirm the dates and the agreement, reinforcing that the plaintiff cannot claim confusion or fault regarding the reservation. This moment highlights that the plaintiff's complaint about damages or policy enforcement is weak because the facts were already clearly established and documented.
So the second thing is that you suffered no damage as a result of his canceling because the rest of your motorcycles weren't rented. He only rented one. I'm not finished yet.
I understand.
I'm not finished yet.
I understand.
So if I were in business with a customer who had reserved and used my business before 3 times.
That understood the policy. That understood the policy.
Goodbye. Your case is dismissed.
That's
We're
great.
done.
In this part, the judge explained why the plaintiff's case was dismissed. She pointed out that the plaintiff suffered no real damage from the cancellation because the other motorcycles she owned were not rented for those dates. Only one motorcycle was affected. The judge also emphasized that the defendant had been a repeat customer, having rented from her 3 times before, so he was familiar with the business and reservation process. The plaintiff tried to interrupt the judge repeatedly, but the judge ignored her and carefully finished explaining her reasoning. Since there was no actual financial loss or harm to justify the lawsuit, the judge concluded the hearing by dismissing the case. This case teaches an important lesson about clear communication, business policies, and fairness. The defendant had reserved a motorcycle in advance and called within 24 hours to cancel when plans changed. The plaintiff had a no-refund policy, but the short notice and prior customer relationship made the cancellation reasonable. Judge Judy highlighted that the plaintiff suffered no real financial loss, as only one motorcycle was affected, and the rest were not rented. Another key lesson is that interrupting or arguing excessively in court weakens your position. The plaintiff tried to talk over Judge multiple times, which made her arguments less credible. Overall, the case emphasizes the importance of documenting agreements, understanding policies, and handling disputes calmly and fairly. Businesses must recognize when enforcing a strict policy is unreasonable, and customers should communicate changes promptly to avoid conflict. Fairness, professionalism, and clear communication are essential in any business or personal transaction.